which is not death. The state of gaming. I didn't have a chance to throw a slide up about this, but I want to talk about it before we get there. E3 in person has been canceled. Yeah, it was straight up virtual only yet again. I mean, to be fair, they're saving so much fucking money not doing it in person. Why wouldn't you go virtual? Besides the fact that it was terrible last year. I don't think they're saving that much money. You know,
like I don't think they're saving that much money. Like, I mean, think of the amount of revenue that E3 brings. It's like Comic-Con for San Diego. Like the amount of revenue that it brings for the area. I mean, Los Angeles doesn't need that much fucking revenue, but you know, it's.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
I saw someone post a tweet on Twitter. I think it was like Imran Khan was like, "Would y'all buy T-shirts that said I went to the last live E3 ever?" I was like, "Damn, I don't think that show's coming back."
Yeah, but why would you even want that shirt? You'd be like, "It's weird." So weird.
But yeah.
But no, so
it
I guess
sucks, dude. E3 was the jam, dude. Back in the day, I fucking loved E3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2000 and I think it was 2011. I think they called it the Year of Dreams or whatever, or 2012, where Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, and all that shit got announced. We were sitting at Andrew Grant's house when we were doing our other thing back in the day.
Glorious gamer. I can't sing like Mikey Glenn, but that was my best impression.
Yeah. We're sitting in Andrew Grant's living room watching live reacting, and then got yelled at by his wife because we started screaming when Kingdom Hearts 3 got announced.
I mean,
and then screamed even more when Final Fantasy 15 got announced.
Those are big announcements. You don't not throw those out there.
Well, yeah, for a bunch of weebs that we were back in the day, absolutely.
Weebs. It's not even an insult anymore. It's just like I miss it.
No, it's still an insult. Fucking weebs.
But
weebs nowadays are terrible.
All right, so you asked this question earlier today, and I gotta know. What is a Wordle? Did you ever find out?
I've been seeing it on fucking Twitter, dude. I don't know. It's like a puzzle, like a community puzzle or some shit that has to do with words. Everybody on my fucking Twitter feed is using Wordle, or in like half my Twitter feed is doing it, and the other half is like, "Yo, fuck Wordle." All my homies hate Wordle. I have no idea what the fuck this is.
What it sounds
Mike
like.
Mahaffey, look this shit up and fucking tell us, please.
Man in the chair, which we'll get to later in this show. Another man in the chair. You know what I'm saying? Final round.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let us know, because I fucking don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel stupid every time I don't know something like that, because it's like it's the reason we started this show, is I didn't understand what a sweat was, or whatever, and I need to know. And now you added another word, Wordle. If it's a game, great.
Wordle.
Great, fine.
I thought that was the evolution of Squirtle from Pokemon, but apparently it's not.
Yeah,
it's Wordle.
I know what a Wartortle is. I know what a
Blastoise
is, but I don't know, what Wordle is. But
I don't know what a Wordle is.
That's all I'm saying. So let's go back.
Let's talk about some video games.
Yeah, let's go into 2022. We're looking at big things. Elden Ring. Again, this is one of those games that you are the only person who's ever really like shined me onto it. I'm not going to read the overview. It's massive. But long story short, this seems to be like the game of the year. Everybody's waiting to really get their bite on. It's published by Bandai Namco, so it's got to be something that's not trash. And with as much hype around it, and as cool as this like art looks, it's got to be massive. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, From Software makes some really fucking cool games. I mean, like, and Sam Burson, friend of the show, Sam Burson, included me in that. From Software made Armored Core, which Armored Core back in the day on PlayStation 1 was out of control. But, I mean, From Software, as typically over the last 10, 12 years, have put out banger after banger. And it's for a very niche market. Right. It's like hyper, difficult, not super fast-paced style games, because they did Demon Souls, which I played Demon Souls when it came out on PS3, which was a great game. Mm-hmm. Then they did the Dark Souls series 1, 2, and 3. Then they did Sekiro Shadows Die, or they did Bloodborne on PS4, which was like it's like the next marquee game for PlayStation 4 that people just want a sequel to. And then they did Sekiro, which was the only other From Software game that I played. And now we have Elden Ring that was like announced a couple of years ago. Everybody's been freaking out about it, but I can't get away from this fucking game at this point. It is everywhere. Like, this game is fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
and it looks dope. And let me tell you.
No, I was just saying it was big even coming into the Game Awards recently. It's like it's not even out yet. People are talking about it.
Yeah. And like, I'm gonna do the same thing that I do with every fucking From Software game because I bought the Demon Souls remake on PlayStation 5 when it came out. I'll play 5 minutes of it. I'll be like, this is like Devil May Cry but slower and more boring. I'll die a bunch of times. I'll get pissed off at the game, and then I'll never play it again.
I know this
and then I've wasted $70.
And then
I literally do that with every From
Software. 3.5
game.
years later, you're gonna pick it back up. Like, this is the weekend. I'm gonna beat it, and you do it again. Wordle is a word puzzle game. Sorry to get you off. Wordle is a word puzzle game that gives the player 6 tries to guess a 5-letter mystery word. This is like
it's like Hangman.
Yeah, exactly. Or what was this show? The Countdown on IT Crowd.
Is that the one with Chris Hardwick?
No.
Oh no.
This
I'll
is
say something
the Countdown, and it's the show where Moss gets like a 14-letter word.
Yeah.
And then Tinettenba is already a word. But no, next game up is actually another PlayStation exclusive. You mentioned that From Software did one for PlayStation back in the day, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4 and 5. He's getting God of War Ragnarok. And again, I don't think I've played God of War as a series as a whole since the first game. So like the fact that we've got Powerlifter Thor here is the only real shining reason that I want to play this.
So, okay. Let's talk about God of War a little bit because I just beat the PlayStation 4 one 2 days ago.
What?
Like I literally just beat it. So God of War, when God of War came out on PlayStation 2, it was like revolutionary. It was like it took the world by storm. God of War 2 was exceptional. God of War 3 was incredible on PlayStation 3. And then it was like kind of quiet for a very many years until God of War came out on PlayStation 4, which took this series from Greek mythology to Norse mythology in a completely different setting and area. I picked up God of War for PlayStation 4 when it came out and did the From Software thing where I was just like, this is cool, but like, I'm done. And then like, I've been on a real big Norse mythology kick because I read Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology and
nice.
I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I was like, I'm going to give God of War another shot. I couldn't fucking put it down. I beat it in like a weekend and a half, like a weekend.
Do you think it was because it was so like in tune with all that mythology?
I think so.
You're like, I know.
And it's fucking incredible. The game is so goddamn good. And I cannot wait for Ragnarok. We got like bodybuilder, big boy Thor. You fuck up his sons in God of War.
Oh, really?
Magni and Modi, like you fuck them up real bad.
Nice. So he has a reason to look this way.
Yeah.
He looks pissed.
Oh yeah, he is mad as fuck. Like you can't like by the end of God of War, and the game's been out for fucking years, so I don't give a shit about spoiling it.
I'm not even turning that flag on.
By the end of God of War, you kill Baldur, and like your girl Freya, who's been like your stick girl the whole time, is like, I will rain down fucking hellfire on you for killing my son. And like you kill him because like he's gonna kill her. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. You've taken everything from me. I'm gonna kill you. And I'm gonna like, it's insane. And like you go into God of War Ragnarok and you're like, Freya's after you, Thor's after you, Odin's after you, Zeus is kind of after you from Helheim. You got no friends, and you're trying to go after Tyr, the Norse God of War. So this looks fucking sweet. I can't wait.
Dude, that's wild. I'm not gonna lie to you. If somebody kills my kid, I'm definitely gonna kill them, even if it's my best friend. Save me from my own kid.
Right.
No, let my kid kill me.
Mike Mahaffey absolutely is right. I'm going to give Mike Mahaffey props 100% of the time. Mike has told me to finish God of War for fucking years.
Yeah, he said many years.
He was like, this game is awesome. And I never did it. And as soon as I finished it, I called him and I was like, dude, I cannot believe how fucking good this game is. And I can't believe I waited this many years to play it.
Now, Starfield is something that's a little bit more up my alley. It's something because it's brand new.
Yeah.
Starfield is set in an area that extends outward from the solar system for approximately 50 light years called the Settled Systems around the year 2310. The two largest factions in the game, the United Colonies and Freestar Collective, engage in the bloody colony war. The game takes place 20 years after the events of the Colony War, in which the major factions enjoy an uneasy peace. The player will assume the role of a customizable character who is a member of a constellation, an organization of space explorers. The game can be played in either first or third person perspectives. That's why I want to play this game. The fact that you can go from first person to third person is pretty dope. Most games, at least on console, you have to pick one or the other. Shit, even PC, there's POS for a reason, or first person shooter for a reason, FPS. There's a reason that, Fortnite's over the shoulder third person. I like the fact that you can change. I think the only time I've seen that otherwise is like racing games. And you're like at the front of the car, or like
you can do the front of the car, the back of the car, on the bumper of the car. I'll tell you what though.
No,
If Starfield's Bethesda, the people who did Elder Scrolls, the people who did Fallout. If Starfield turns out to be like No Man's Sky level travel, but Elder Fallout style gameplay, it'll be Game of the Year. Absolutely. And I hope it is that way.
That'd be dope. That would be pretty fucking dope, actually.
The Destiny to be when it came out, but I hope it's that. I mean, it's been in development for years, so my hope is that they're going big and bold and ambitious with it. But we'll see.
Next one up, Zelda Breath of the Wild Part 2. Breath of the Wild, I've seen, as many little like trick reviews, like, oh, here's how you do this move, and here's how you can like just basically jump across an entire maze in a second because you can prime something to jump off and launch in a direction, whatever. I'm excited to see what happens with Breath of the Wild Part 2.
My guess is that Breath of the Wild is going to be like what God of War was for me. Because I've tried Breath of the Wild a few times, and it just never fucking clicked.
I like that there's a stackable version of what you're talking about. It's like, well, it's just like the From Software. Well, God of War can be like From Software. Well, Starfield might be like this, and then Zelda's going to potentially be like God of War.
I've tried Breath of the Wild 4 times, and I just can't get into it. It just hasn't clicked. But my buddy Jake at work was like, dude, play Breath of the Wild. Mikey Glenn also was like, play Breath of the Wild. Mike Mahavey's like, play Breath of the Wild. And I was like, all right. So I'm gonna give Breath of the Wild a shot after I beat Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my next game is to beat Breath of the Wild.
I love it. Next up,
people are stoked for 2.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, this fucking game. Let's talk about this game.
Watching you. I'm so pumped about Gotham Knights for obvious reasons, as we are Batman mythology fans, all of them. I love the way these characters are treated already. Plus, I get to see the young Robin here, Tim Drake. He looks awesome. I mean, it's definitely a little bit more street style than he would be in the comics or whatever. But I love that shit. I'm excited to see how they take the gameplay. I'm assuming it's going to be something similar to Arkham Asylum, but at the same time, it's supposed to be. Let me read the quick little overview. It's set in the city of Gotham, obviously, but the big thing is the Court of Owls, right? So, Court of Owls was such a great piece in the comic book when it was during Fight for the Cowl, right? You learn that Dick Grayson's great great grandfather was an owl, and all this kind of stuff. I'm so excited to see how they incorporate that into the game. Obviously, it won't be for parody with the actual comic book itself. But let's be honest, it's just gonna be dope.
When did you find out about this game? I'd like to know. Was your first seeing this game at the DC showcase not last year, but the year before that?
No.
And that was your first?
No, it was last year.
Okay. So this fucking game was announced years ago.
Really?
Okay. So Batman Day, 3 years ago, WB Montreal put out a fucking just an image, a cryptic image that looked like a Court of Owl symbol, and then went dark for 9 fucking months and said nothing, and then put out another image, and then went dark for 6 fucking months. So we didn't know what this game was at all.
So how does it not feel like an intern oopsie poopty the first one,
dude?
And then
it was infuriating. I had WB Montreal on Twitter. I had fucking notifications. So I don't turn on notifications for fucking anybody on Twitter. And I was like, I have to know what this game is because we haven't gotten a Batman game since Arkham Knight. And I was like, fuck, dude, what is WB Montreal putting out? And then they finally announced it's Gotham Knights. And we're like, cool, what's Gotham Knights? Because they announced it. And then we had to wait till DC Fandom 2 years ago. And then we finally saw it. And we're like, oh, this is incredible. You literally play as Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, and Batman's dead. And I'm like, yeah, this is fucking sick. I'm in already.
But like the funny thing to me is that you spent 9 months getting notifications from them about anything other than
it was job postings. It was job postings for 9 fucking months, Ernie. Every time WB Montreal would pop up on my goddamn thing, and it was in French because they're out of fucking Montreal. And
it makes you wonder if every one of those roles that they're posting about is just because they can't replace the guy that
I was so fucking mad. I was heated, bro. I was so pissed. It for months, dude. Fucking didn't hear shit for a year. Oh my god.
Well, I'm definitely excited about this one. This one's coming to PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S and 1. So I'll actually get to play it even if I don't get me a fucking new Xbox. The last game for 2022 we're going to talk about is from Portkey Games, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm stoked about this for many reasons. Obviously, I'm a Harry Potter fan. As you can see behind me, where's my finger? There it is. There's a lamp, and along this lamp is all of the Harry Potters in a row, just in a nice little row. Do what you want. You can be upset at JK for not being JK about trans people, right? You can be upset at that author. This is a moment where I think you can separate the author from the art, because this is not just about the book she wrote. Now it's a whole universe that's been created. Portkey Games and all these people that are working there are working on this project. And recently, I think as recently as today, I saw a tweet that you'll be able to actually create a trans person in the game. So
I had this conversation with Mike Mahaffey a few weeks ago about art from the artist, because shit came out at Bungie, and I'm like, dude, if we as a collective unit don't play or watch anything that has someone problematic in it, all we would be doing is playing with our dicks all day. It's super frustrating. It's so
No,
I get it.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Like J.K. Rowling said, fucked up. And I read what J.K. Rowling said, and yeah, it's problematic. But she didn't come out right and be like, "Yo, fuck trans people." She came out and said something stupid, and I get that. And I'm not gonna give J.K. Rowling money. Believe me, I'm the biggest trans rights LGBTQIA person on the fucking planet.
Right there with
you. But that world, that whole world, and it's the same thing with the Marvel world and the fucking DC world and Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and all that shit. I mean, that world, it means so much to many people. I watched the fucking anniversary on New Year's Day.
Oh, I can't
with
wait to
Ashley.
Watch it. I still have to watch it.
We're all fucking. Those kids grew up with us. We're the same age as all of those.
I'm gonna let you know that when I watch it, I'm gonna be emotionally damaged. Damaged. I'm gonna be tore up. And my greatest flip the coin on people is oh, I don't like it because this author said something inflammatory. Okay, fine. Well, you know what? Let's flip it the other direction. Say you're a scholar and you love William Shakespeare, and your favorite work from William Shakespeare is Hamlet. Just love Hamlet, and then you figure out maybe years later, after you finally have a student or a coworker that's like, "Yo, by the way, you know that Horatio was gay, right? He wasn't just Hamlet's best friend; he was a gay character. He was in love with Hamlet." Not just I love you, right, bro. I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean you now hate William Shakespeare? If you do, fuck you then. Or you just appreciate the work for what it was. Walt Disney was a fucking anti-Semite, dude.
Sympathizing. Hated Jewish people.
Piece of shit.
Nobody's canceled. Nobody's not going to Walt Disney World.
Well, you know what?
I get it.
Yeah, we're not canceling him because he's still frozen. But the minute he's unfrozen... Yes.
But let me tell you what, there are times when that is necessary, when you can't separate the art from the artist. R. Kelly, Am I listening to R. Kelly these days? Absolutely not.
No.
Am I playing anything from Activision because of what's going on there?
Nope.
Absolutely not. You know,
Have I
like
canceled
there are times
everything
like
from
that.
Blizzard? You fucking yes, I have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have BattleNet installed on anything anymore. I deleted it. I have nothing because I'm not going to give that guy money because he's still there.
Insane.
All right, I'm getting back to this game because this game looks fucking cool. I saw the trailer for this game. This game looks fucking sweet.
Now that we've aired out our grievances, let me read the synopsis. Hogwarts Legacy will be set in the late 1800s. That's pretty dope, actually. Following a student at Hogwarts, a player will be allowed to choose their Hogwarts house and attend classes at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and explore an open world consisting of locations including the Forbidden Forest, Hogsmeade Village. That's pretty dope. In the game, the player character will learn to cast various magical spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, and master other combat abilities. A morality system will play a role in the game, which makes me think of Fable, which I'm so excited about.
Yep. It looks like Fable by Harry Potter, and I'm fucking here for it, dude. It looks so fucking good.
Yes. Players will also be able to customize their character's voice, body type, and whether they are a witch or a wizard. That shit's gonna be dope.
Hell yeah, dude.
If I can make my guy sound like I'm gonna name two people who might have already been canceled but uncanceled. John Mulaney, because he's such a weird like nasally voiced guy, or like Aziz Ansari, because he's also nasally voiced, but have him be just huge and jacked. That would be the funniest thing for me ever. Like Hagrid style giant person. Like a real high pitched voice. But
that's how I feel about Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria.
Yes.
He's like this big brown guy.
Yes.
He has a high pitched voice. Yeah. It's fucking sweet.
That's funny. I literally just played Coheed like 2 days ago. It's been a while.